I got to play Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight early. This video is going to delve into what I got to play, which is one of the main story missions, followed by a bit of free roaming in one of the islands. This gameplay you guys have already most likely seen, but I still wanted to make this video because now that I have personally played it, I wanted to tell you my personal experience with the game as well as go in depth with it now that I know how things like the controls work and things of that nature. Huge thanks to WB Games for allowing me to play. It was a dream come true to play the game early, and I was beyond excited, and I'm really happy to say that Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is a game you should look forward to. Let's go ahead and get on with the video. Subscribe if you love Batman content. I'm trying to get to 150k by the end of the year. Leave a like on the video, and let's move on. Okay, so once again, the demo I got to play was the one that was played already previously by other people. It's the mission where you fight through the Red Hood gang at Ace Chemicals until you get to the end where you fight off against the Joker. Now that I've played this mission, I can have my own thoughts on it, and I think the mission you play here in the demo is really well structured and really fun. I can say for this one level, the design is good. The beginning of the mission here has you track down and analyze 3 bears in the more open world-esque part of the mission, where you're free to pick which order you want to do them. It's then followed up by you going inside Ace Chemicals where it's more linear. Now, something I noticed with this mission is that it's really well paced, and the layout of the specific mission reminds me of something like the Arkham games. Specifically for this demo, this was a good mission to pick because you start off in this open-ended area of the mission, allowing you to test out the controls and take your time. You can go around fighting some of the enemies and also skipping others if you wish. It reminds me of a mission like the Ace Chemicals one in Arkham Knight, funny enough, where the beginning is a little bit more open-ended as well. You go from that open-ended section at the beginning here to then going inside the Ace Chemicals warehouse where it is a bit more linear, but still just as fun, as the gameplay loop of these games is fantastic, which we'll get into that in the gameplay section of the video. I'll probably keep comparing this game to the Arkham games because those games are the standard for modern Batman games, but with that being said, Lego Batman still feels original and amazing in its own right. I think the direction they're taking this game is very well done because while the gameplay loop of this game is great, missions can get stale if you have no variety or any kind of substance, right? Thankfully, this game does not suffer from that. There is variety here in the mission structure. You do puzzle solving. You have a little bit of free roaming in the beginning of the mission. You can do little small things like listen to thug conversations, tackle different combat sections in multiple ways. You can look for collectibles. You use different characters, and it all looks so visually pleasing. I really enjoy the mission design here for this one mission that I was allowed to play. It wasn't boring at all. Everything felt meaningful and connected, and nothing felt filler, which was the most important part. Mission structure was well done, but what about the story here for the one mission we got to play? How did it feel? So the part I was worried about the most going into this was that if the story would have a serious kind of weight to it or not. Something I value in stories, especially in superhero ones, are having a serious storyline that has stakes in it and some kind of weight, you know? And coming into this knowing it's a Lego game, Lego games always have their classic charming humor and quirkiness in them, which is great, but I was worried that might overshadow any kind of serious tone the game might have. I am really happy to say that while playing this game, it felt like they had the best of both worlds. Just on this one mission alone, the game has the nice quirky humor we all know and love from the LEGO series, but then this game still felt cinematic, and it took itself seriously for a LEGO game, you know? Like, there's small things like when Red Hood is running away here, he blows up these 2 thugs right off the bat. I know LEGO people always crumble apart in game, but in a little cutscene like this one, I perceive it as Joker canonically killing 2 of his guys, you know? I don't know, it just makes me enjoy the game more. And with how the mission ends with Red Hood falling to his death and then becoming Joker, there's no humor here to ruin that moment. They let you sink it in and enjoy it without some dumb joke in the way. The humor didn't ruin a single moment of the story. It's well paced. I feel like the game was designed with the mindset that adults like me that grew up with the original Lego Batman are gonna play this game. And knowing that, they took it a little bit more seriously. Like, honestly, it was really fun to play the entire time. The mission design here, coupled with well-paced storyline beats that balanced its humor well, made this Red Hood mission specifically in the demo a lot of fun to play. And it makes me look forward to the rest of the game. It's great. The story so far is intriguing, as well as the mission design. Hopefully we get to see more before the game comes out. Alright, man, gameplay. I'm so excited to talk about this because, oh my god, the gameplay here was what I was looking forward to the most, and I was not disappointed. Where do I start? I want to talk about the controls first to help you understand how they work, because I think that's important. Some of the controls are self-explanatory, like grappling, but I wanted to explain some other ones. Keep in mind, I played this game with a PlayStation 5 controller. So, yeah. Okay, so first off, as far as I know, Batman and Gordon, the two playable characters in the demo, had two gadgets each, and you swap between them with the D-pad. You can quick fire these gadgets by pressing R2, so in combat, that's what you would do to keep your combo going. Gliding. Gliding in this game is how you would expect to glide. You jump and then press the jump button again for Batman to glide. Except in this game, you don't actually hold the jump button to keep gliding like you would in the Arkham games, for example. Instead, you just press a jump button once while Batman's in the air for him to glide, and he keeps gliding. And to stop your glide, you simply press circle or the evade button for Batman to stop gliding and fall down. Pretty interesting. Coming from the Arkham games, it was just kind of, it took a while to get used to, I guess, but it's still fun and great. If you press the right thumbstick, Batman scans the area, highlighting enemies and other possible interactable things, which to me feels very similar to the Insomniac Spider-Man games, but I heard it's also in past LEGO games, this mechanic, so that's cool. But in Insomniac Spider-Man games, it kind of does the same thing where you press the right stick and the entire area is scanned. I spam this a lot because it makes my life easier. And those are some of the more notable controls I wanted to mention. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory in terms of controls, from calling the Batmobile to grappling to switching characters and so on. The controls feel great. Nothing to complain about there. They made them intuitive, which is very, very nice. But something I wanted to talk about is the combat in the game. The combat in the game, a lot of people are comparing this to the Arkham games, naturally, because it looks like there is some inspiration there, which there is. But at the same time, it feels like its own thing. Just based off the one demo I played here, the combo system can be divided into a few things. You can punch with the square button, you evade with the circle button, and counter with the triangle button when prompted to. You have a meter on the bottom left for your character that when filled, you can press R1 to perform an instant takedown. You quickfire your gadgets by pressing right trigger once again, and to do a beatdown on an enemy, they need to be in a dizzy state, which is when, they're dizzy like this. Batman will then do a beatdown on them, taking them down. You can evade over enemies and hit them from behind, which is what you need to do for certain enemies like the Ride Shield guys here. And in this demo, Batman has two gadgets, the Batarang and the Batclaw, while Gordon had his glue grenade and his regular ricochet gun, I think it is. Will there be more gadgets in the game? There will be for the other playable characters, but for Batman and Gordon specifically, no idea. We did see Batman use explosive gel in the trailer, so who knows? But this demo had two gadgets, respectively, for Batman and for Gordon. Stealth sections. The stealth sections in the game are very present. It kind of makes the stealth sections with the combat sections in this demo. From what I experienced, when trying to sneak behind someone to take them out, you don't need to move slow or anything. You can just run up behind them, silent take them down, and move on. You can also do it while gliding or just anywhere above the enemy. And another cool thing is that if there are two people near each other, you can silent take down one while your partner automatically takes down the other, which is really nice. Also, that meter on your bottom left, when it's full, you can do the point launch, which is when Batman just launches hella high above the sky. If I'm not mistaken, that same meter is the one you use for special takedowns, so you don't need to use it right away. You can save it for a future fight or future scenario. You decide how to use that meter. In the demo, I just use it for special combo takedowns or point launches with gliding, but there may be more when the full game comes out. But without the point launch, you can jump off at grapple points to keep up your momentum. You can also call your Batmobile during free roam and super jump out of it holding the circle button, and you can dive bomb in midair also holding the circle button. I wanted to explain how some of the mechanics work to give you an idea on how the gameplay works. Now that I've explained it, how does it all feel? I am pleased to tell you that it feels so good and so much fun to play. To start with the combat in this game is very fun. The main gameplay loop of this game is thankfully very fun. Everyone who watches me knows that I am a huge fan of the Arkham series, and this game adopts that free flow combat system really well, but also makes it feel very distinct. There's differences here and nuances that help to create its own identity between the different characters you can play and the different mechanics in the combat. To compare this to the Arkham games, because the system is based off that, you can throw a ton of batarangs without your combo dropping, which you cannot do in the Arkham games. You can roll evade multiple times and keep your combo going, unlike the Arkham games. Beatdowns are different. Your special combo takedown meter can be saved for later uses. Progression is progressed in different ways via these collectibles, and just the sound effects and visual representation make this feel distinct, but also new, and I love that. It's legit fun just to fight enemies over and over and over, and once I fully understand how the mechanics work to the max and enemy interactions and so on, I can see myself sink so much time into the combat sections here. There are different enemy types that force you to play smarter, such as the Ride Shield guys you have to jump over and hit from the back. There's people with dual wield guns that force you to play different, maybe you have to take them out first. The gadgets are really fun, like the Batclaw has people pulled towards you and now they're in your hand, which you can then throw or punch them. I find this gadget kind of risky in combat sections because it's easy for people to hit you, but I need to experiment with it more to see the bigger picture. With Gordon, using his foam sprayer or his regular gun here adds for different variety, and honestly, his gadgets in this demo I think are low-key better than Batman's. Like, if there was a tier list, Gordon would be above Batman here. Isn't that kind of crazy to say? But I love that the characters have those differences in their gadgets so nobody plays the same. The combat here is addicting. The gameplay loop with it will be addicting. I can tell because the reason I keep coming back to the Arkham games is for that gameplay loop. This has that. So thankfully the gameplay of the game is very fun. But something I do want to say is that the combat doesn't just take inspiration from the Arkham games, but it also gets inspiration from the Insomniac Spider-Man games, like getting behind a ride shield enemy. That's from Insomniac Spider-Man. The focus mode here seems pretty reminiscent of Insomniac Spider-Man, having a special combo meter to use not just for special takedowns, but for other things like traversal, feels like Insomniac Spider-Man. The wind tunnels in Free Roam, which we'll talk about later, Insomniac Spider-Man. I love those games too, so seeing TT Games adapt some of their great gameplay elements here is a really smart choice. I feel like more people should talk about that, and I'm glad TT Games is doing that, like I said. I noticed it, I appreciate it. The combat is addicting and fun. It's simple as that. Now, I will say, one thing that I like in games in general is the feeling of progression. Now, there is progression in this game, don't get me wrong. As of now, I'm not sure how it works completely, but from what I hear, the interactables you collect in the overworld upgrade your gear, and things of that nature. But I do like the level up progression system in the Arkham games where every fight you do feels like you're that much closer to your next upgrade. That's a minor nitpick. It really doesn't detract from the combat in this game since it doesn't progress like that. But I wanted to bring that up in case anyone feels like that too, if you like the level up progression rather than the collectible progression. But yes, overall, the combat here is really well done, and this is all from the little demo I played, so there's still so much we have yet to see. Stealth in the game. Stealth is fun. As of now, from this one mission I played, it was really just getting behind people and doing silent takedowns, with the occasional swoop in from above to do a silent takedown. Environmental takedowns do seem to be a thing, like this giant crate I drop on these guys here, but from this demo, it was limiting on those kind of interactions, so while stealth from this demo wasn't super in-depth compared to something like Arkham Knight, it's still very fun. Being able to whittle a herd before you engage in combat is cool, or just trying to completely silent pick off the entire group is also an option, and I love that you can decide on how to engage fights like that. The silent takedown animations are really funny too. I'm sure there's way more depth to the stealth. Keep in mind at the time of this video, I played just as one mission, you know, so there still could be so much depth, but we'll just have to see on that aspect when the full game comes out. But from what I played, I still really enjoyed it. Now, with those things talked about, one thing I'm glad they also did was not make their amazing gameplay loop the only thing. They divided up between the exploration and the puzzle solving, so you're not constantly doing the same thing. Like in the Ace Chemicals mission here, you have to scan these bears to progress the story, which plays a puzzle out for you to solve. Or going around collecting studs, listening to thug dialogues, searching for the mission's hidden collectibles, and all this makes a variety in the mission feel way more engaging and fun. So yes, overall, the gameplay here is great. It feels like the Arkham games, but it also feels like its own thing. The loop here is fun. I feel like it doesn't get boring. It feels satisfying to hit people, satisfying to try out different gadgets and tactics, and I'm really pleased to say this is all from a little demo I got to play. Gameplay is beyond amazing. Free roaming. So I got to play about 20, maybe 30 minutes of free roaming on one of the islands in Gotham City here, the Tri-Corner Island. I opened the map here and it looks like there are 4 islands you can explore, and I think they said this one you explore is the smallest one. So this game's full map will be humongous. But for the Tri-Corner Island in this demo, basically there's a lot of collectibles in the free roam to collect, from data chips to Riddler boxes to ducks you have to destroy. On top of that, there's challenges like the Batmobile time trials. There's also crimes in progress that happen often you can go to stop. There's wind tunnels to make you glide fast, just like the Insomniac Spider-Man games, which is a great thing they incorporated. You can call a vehicle whenever you need, and they all have different handling and stats. This demo had the Pattinson Batmobile, the motorcycle, and the tumbler. As you can see, there's a lot of different cars and costumes to collect as well, and you can kind of make out yourself some of the costumes from the silhouettes here, which is really exciting. The coolest thing I found out that I'm sure everyone else has known except for me was that every character has their own different set of vehicles. Gordon has police vehicles and it's all different from Batman's. I didn't know that, so that was really cool to see, and I'm excited to see what the other characters have in the future. It's really fun, and what I love is that it feels snappy and quick to just go around collecting everything, you know? I feel like people love fast-paced stuff nowadays, so it's really nice that they did that. One thing I really hope this game has, which I'm not kind of expecting, are side missions, you know, like actual side missions where perhaps you play a storyline apart from the main storyline. I'm not expecting it, but I love side missions in superhero games, you know, so fingers crossed, but even despite that, free roaming here is awesome. Gotham City here is really detailed. It's lavish. The city looks fantastic. Like, you can't tell me it doesn't. The small details are awesome, like the posters around referencing Batman lore, or how you can wave at pedestrians, or how you can spin this newsstand around. Small interactions on top of the lavishly detailed Gotham is really appreciated, and this is just one island. You gotta think about that. This game will be, I think, bigger than Arkham Knight's map, to put it in perspective. The free roaming is great, and it makes me even more excited. I know I sound like a huge fanboy. That's because, I mean, I guess I am. The Arkham games I grew up with as a kid. I love them to death, you know? I also grew up with Lego Batman 1 and 2. I grew up with these games and I love them. I've never played Lego Batman 3, but I heard 3 was kind of mid, so I don't know. But anyways, seeing a new Lego Batman game that takes the best of both worlds of the Arkham games and the Lego games into one and executing it this well, I can't not be extremely excited. We were in a Batman game drought. Thankfully, Batman Arkham Shadow came out, and I love that game. Now we also have Lego Batman 4, which I feel is a little more accessible for people. You should be looking forward to this game. But with that being said, I do have small nitpicks for the demo. These are legit just nitpicks, okay? Stuff that I noticed while playing. For example, there were some minor bugs when playing the demo. Very minor, like that I'm sure will get fixed in the full game. It's just things like teleporting off camera, but it fixes itself, so it's really no big deal. Something else I felt while playing was like, in this demo, when I try to turn with Batman while he's gliding, it was, I don't want to say it's unresponsive, but it was like Batman turned a little bit after I try to turn him while gliding, you know? I don't want to harp on this too much. It could have just been a me thing, but yeah, something I wanted to note. And one last thing, and this may be me just being dumb or something, but when I'm trying to do this puzzle with Batman where I needed my partner Gordon to finish it, when I switched to Gordon, he was somewhere far off and random, and I couldn't tell where he was, so I couldn't link up with Batman, so I just kind of gave up on the puzzle. I hope this is something they make easier, where it's easier to find your other partner on the map. Maybe there's already a mechanic or button for it, and I just didn't know in the demo, but I thought I should mention that too. But those were my only nitpicks while playing the demo, stuff that is really just whatever, right? This game, I will say, is extremely well polished, really well balanced in terms of its humor and serious tone when it comes to the story, very fun gameplay loop, and great designs for the missions and the city of Gotham. It's been a very long time since we went to a Gotham City, man, so I'm really happy we have another Batman game coming. But for our first impressions on the demo I played, this game is really something to look forward to. I loved playing this, and as of now, it's a really strong start. But what do you think? Are you looking forward to Lego Batman 4? Let me know. But as always, leave a like, sub, comment, all that, man. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video answered some questions you may have had. But other than that, I'll see you next video. Stay safe and peace.